This conference will now be recorded.
Right. In today's session, we will go through an end-to-end integrated planning solution with SAP Datasphere and SAC planning. So we are going to understand how bidirectional means data transfer from Datasphere to SAC, SAC data export from SAC to Datasphere. So we are going to understand bidirectional data transfer between these two products. Also, we will cover the modeling requirements. So for example, we have some third-party data. We have third-party means external data. We have internal data. We will add these two third-party data and external data and internal data, and we will move that data to SAC for the planning purpose. In the planning, for the planning in SAC, for the planning, we are going to create planning model, and in that model, based on this actual data, we use predictive analytics uh, to automate the planning process. So we will, so the modeling and the planning models or whatever the views required in the data sphere, I already developed because it's a demo session. We will go through entire process. Whatever configuration required for this particular scenario, we will discuss in our sessions, in the future sessions. So the use case. In this particular scenario, we are going to understand, or we are going to create an automated liquidity forecast. So we have some liquidity items like cash flow, cash flow. So same way we have liquidity forecast, part of cash flow. So we have some energy prices like uh, 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 unit of measure will be there. Per unit of measure, this is the price, energy price. So those energy prices, we will get it from the external companies, right? That's the external data. So energy prices are increasing continuously, and companies want to understand the impact of their energy prices impact on their cash flow. Therefore, they want to create an automated liquidity forecast with SAC's predictive analytics capabilities. So what SAC analytics capability can perform? So it can based on the train data. The train data comes from Datasphere. So whatever Datasphere data we have in SAC, based on the train data, that Datasphere data, system is going to estimate your future liquidity forecast. So it uses the Datasphere here we use to combine external data and internal data. The internal data comes from S4HANA. So we have S4HANA liquidity forecast table. So from our liquidity data table, from there we take the data, actual data. From the external third party, from the data marketplace, we take the energy data prices or energy prices, and we will move that one to SAC, and we will in SAC we use predictive analytics to perform the forecast. So that's what here it's written. To do so, we look for external data on energy prices in the data marketplace within SAP Datasphere. We add this data to our internal cash flow statement actuals and load it to SAP Analytics Cloud to serve as basis for our new liquidity forecast. So whatever internal cash flow, so whatever we got that cash flow numbers from the S4, we add those energy prices which we got. So from the data marketplace we can buy, if we can purchase the data. Sometimes it's free, right? So we take it from the data marketplace, we call it as data products, and we will install the data products, and we will combine our actual data with this particular energy prices, and we will move that data to SAC for the estimations. So the architecture, whatever I used in this particular scenario, as I said, this scenario takes place in Datasphere and Analytics Cloud, both. So I have one product, Analytics Cloud, other product, SAP Datasphere. So first what I do, I'm going to take the influencer data. Influencer data is basically my energy prices. From where I'm going to take this influencer data, energy prices, from the data marketplace. Right? So from the data marketplace, I'm going to pick up my influencer data, which is energy prices is going to drive my liquidity forecast. So the influencer data, I'm going to get it from the data marketplace, and actual data, I'm going to bring it from S4HANA. And I'm going to union these two numbers, this actual data, cash flow statement, with the energy prices. So to combine the data, we use union operator. So we create a view. In the view, this actual data and influencer data is combined, and this whatever the data which is combined data, that we will move to SAC. That means we will in SAC we will connect to SAC. We will import this particular union data to a planning model. So a connection, right? So to import Datasphere data to SAC, we need a connection. So there is a SAP Datasphere public consumption API. So using this particular API, OData API, we are going to pull the data in SAC. After loading the data, so once we load the data using this public consumption API, we will model that particular data. So we will create a planning story. We have some multi actions, data actions to perform predictive time series and deleting the old data. So for example, I perform predictive time series. If I am not okay with that, I can delete the data. So for the delete, we can use a data action there in SSE, and we use a predictive scenario to execute the forecast. So these are the things, these are the objects we are going to use it in SSE. Once the predictive forecast generates that forecast values, that forecast value again I can export to Datasphere. For this, we are going to use SAC data export service. From SAC, I can export data to Datasphere. We are going to use one export data service. This is the there is an option in a Datasphere to create data export service. So which will pick up the data from SAC and it will move it to Datasphere tables. Now, let's say how this union is there. So here in the data builder, we create whatever models we want. This is in the Datasphere. This is in the Datasphere. I created one view here. You can see union, actuals, and influencer data. In this view, I used energy prices from the third-party energy prices and actual data, S4 actual data. This data is loaded from the S4. So this S4 actual data, and I union these two. This is the union operator, and I created a view called v underscore union actuals and influencer. So in this view, I have data of both energy prices and actual. You can see the data here. So this is the data. I can, on top of this view, this is a fact view. It kind of info cube, you can say. So it's a fact view. On top of fact view, we can create an analytical model. Why we need to create an analytical model? SAC can read data from analytical models. In Datasphere, we create analytical model. This analytical model we can call in SAC. So on top of this particular fact view, I created an analytical model. You can see that analytical model. This is the analytical model. In the analytical model, you can preview the data also. This is the analytical model, and this is my username, just for my convenience. So if I click on preview, whatever actual data, so you can add liquidity item description. So these are the liquidity items. Milk expenses, other expenses, sugar expenses, labor, energy prices also there, energy expenses are also there. Cash in related to operating activities. So these are the liquidity items I have. And I also have the company codes, so I can add the company codes here. And also I have transaction currency and different months available. Time data also available. Now this is my actual data. How can I say this is actual data? So now you can see here this is actual data. You can see this is the actual data. Now this data, whatever is available, I want to move it to SAC. I want to move it to SAC. So if you want to move it to SAC, see here data replication part, because I want to move Datasphere data to SAC. I have a fact view, or I have an analytical model, right? From this analytical model, I can I can I can move the data to SAC using a OData connector. Using a OData connector. So this connector, this OData connector, we are going to create in SAC. Data connection, one OData connection we are going to create, and in that connection, using that connection, we are going to call this analytical model, and we are going to pull the data. So then let's see that one, how to pull this particular data. Let's go to the analytical model. So this is my analytical model. Now I'm connecting to SAC. With the Datasphere trial, you also get SAC basic trial. So in SAC, I have a one model here. I already created, as I said. I have one model which which is having liquidity item, liquidity company code, time, version. So this is my model, SAP Finance liquidity planning model. So let's open this liquidity planning model. So in this model, I have measures and dimensions. This is SAC screen. I have version, and I have all the liquidity items here. Time dimension, month-wise, currency, company codes. The amount is the measure here. Now, in order to load the data, you just need to go to data management in SAC. So here you have import jobs. Click on that import jobs. So here OData services you have to select, because the connector is OData connector, and you have to select the connection. So I have a connection already created. I will explain how to create this connection in the sessions later. So we get the data. So if you remember that Datasphere model, analytical model, this is the analytical model. So I'm just giving a name, and I'm selecting this. Next. So when you are loading the data, you can select entire data. I want all this dimension data. Later I can map whatever I need. If you want filters, this also will work. You can add a filter. So you can add some company code here, and you can select the filter. Same like data loading from S4 to SAC. So here import job it creates, and here you have an option to set up the import. Set up the import means Datasphere, whatever fields are there. Those Datasphere fields you have to map to these dimensions in SAC. So that option comes when you click on setup import. So live connection is different. So earlier demos I earlier I gave a demo on live connections. If you check my channel, YouTube channel, you will find that video also based on Finance Foundation. So now you can see the data which is from your Datasphere analytical model. You have cash in, cash out, and different transaction currency amounts. So amount unit, if you see this amount units, these are like currency codes. So the transaction currency name, right? The transaction currency ID, right? So that this is also a transaction currency ID. Now let's go to the next. Now all the wherever possible system already mapped. Version it is actual, it's mapped. Liquidity item system mapped automatically. Transaction currency ID it's mapped. Company code ID it's mapped. Amount it mapped. Time it's not mapped because maybe the difference of this time month, right? So I'm adding time month as my time. So now it's also mapped. After that, let's click on next. So here in the transaction currency ID, I mean we have some description and currency, right? So transaction currency description is here. You can drop it here, and transaction currency amount unit we can add it here. So my mapping is done. Next. So run import. Default settings I'm accepting. We'll discuss later. So from Datasphere to SAC, data import completed. The actual data we imported. You can check that last known status here. So if it is success, you will get some green check boxes here like this. So each and every step one check box, and around 4,704 records imported, rows imported. Now once the import is done, so the actual data is import is done. Now we have a story. I created a story. In the story you can check this particular actual data. So this is the dashboard. Here let's go to the second page. So this is the actual data whatever we loaded, right? Cash in related to operating activities, energy expenses, and also whatever predictive forecast, previous predictive forecast data. I'm just clearing that predictive forecast data. So only actual data will be available now. So now I have only actual data here. So it's still running. So this is one way. 2022 data. So this predictive forecast data we can delete. So we can just select like this and delete, or we can use clear forecast data. Both are okay. So now I'm going to publish this data. Publish this data. Clear predictive forecast. We should it should work. Yeah. So now I have data for all the periods. Yeah. Now 2022 actual 2022 all are zeros. So I'm just deleting this data. This data also I deleted. I'm going to publish this data. So now actual data available for 2021. Also, we have influencer data, which is energy prices. Now you can check this energy prices. So the table, the canvas size is small, so we need to adjust. So these are the energy prices, external data. So this external data, you can see the energy prices based on the transaction currency, different companies, India company, Germany, UK, those companies. These are the energy prices. The data of here, actual data. What happened? The data available here, 2020, 2021, right? So both the years available, right? Here 2020, 2021. 2021, 2022 data actual not available because all zeros came, I deleted. Now the influencer data, if you observe here, which is available for 2022 also, right? Based on this energy prices, 2022 energy prices, I want to estimate my 2022, right? 2022 liquidity items. Liquidity forecast I want to do for 2022. So I developed a predictive forecast time series. So we can click here, run predictive liquidity forecast. So it takes some time. So once the forecast, it generates the forecast, right? Here you see 2022 forecast it's generated. Once it generates the forecast, it saves automatically. This forecast, predictive forecast 2022 data, I want to move back. I want to push to Datasphere. So here, if you observe here, SAP Datasphere provides a public API, right? It's the public API which Datasphere provides. So what this public API does, it pulls data from the analytical model and integrates to the analytics cloud, SAC. That's what we did. Now we imported 4,704 records using this public API. Same way, SAC provides a data export service. DES we call it as data export service. So that's an API. So that that we will using a CDI connector. So here we call that one. CDI means cloud data integrator. So using this cloud data indicator, whatever SAC provides the data export service, right? So that API, what it does, it picks up fact data, master data both, and it writes it can write to a table in Datasphere. That is called SAC public API, whatever the name it is, data export service. So let's understand how this SAC data, whatever fact data, master data, we can move it to Datasphere, the other realm. So it is, as I said, like bi-directional integration. One side we already imported the data from SAC, we are transferring data to Datasphere. So now in the Datasphere, this is my Datasphere screen. We need to create a data flow to get that particular data from SAC. So here what we have to do, new data flow. In the data flow, we need to add the source. The source is SAC, right? So from SAC, I need to get this model. So I have a model here in SAC. This is SAC screen. In this SAC screen, I'm connecting to the model, planning model. So this is the model. We have data. Whatever forecast data we generated, it's there in this particular model, in this model. Now this model, I want to call in Datasphere, and this model will have fact data. So the fact data means when you view, this is the fact data. So I have fact data for predictive forecast. So this is fact data, and these are the, and also we have some dimensional data. So these are the dimensions available. Each dimension is having some dimension data. This dimension data already available in Datasphere. Only thing is that predictive forecast data is not available in Datasphere. So here we develop a data flow. For the data flow, we will, so there is a export connection I created here. So this export connection, so it shows all the SAC models here under SAC namespace. Models, dimensions, fact data tables, everything. So what we have to do here, we have to take the model ID. The model ID is here, you see in the link, when you open the model, next to the model there is a link, some technical name. We have to copy this technical name to search. Copy this, and once it opens, we have to search with that technical name. Then it can fetch the model, whatever tables relevant to that model, it fetches those tables like fact table, dimension table. So once it fetches that fact table, we will select the fact table based on the fact table. So whatever data is available in the fact table, we are going to add to one Datasphere table. So here, these are the models available in SAC. Search our model. So it's going to search our model. So our model name is new SAP FI CLM IM liquidity planning. So it should get all the tables relevant to this particular model. The data export service API has capability. It can pull data from SAC and make it available for Datasphere. So whatever API we created here, so this is the connection. So that data export service, which can get all SAC relevant tables based on your selection, and it can give the data to Datasphere. So now here you see it's selected based on this name, it's selected. So we need to select here. So all the relevant, when you select left side this table, all the relevant tables are shown right side. So it is taking some time, maybe because of the connection. So now it will list out all the tables right side. In that I will choose only the fact table. So now you see fact data, master data, company code. So these are the dimensions, right? I have. This is the view. So when we view this data here, we view the data, right? So this data available in the fact data. So once you select this fact data, next select this, add selection. So data flow basically gets data from different sources and it moves to the Datasphere tables. Yep. So now to store this, now this fact data having actual data and planned data, because this model has actual data which came from Datasphere, this predictive forecast data which we generated in SAC. both the data. So we selected this table. So this data flow, whatever now you see here, it's going to fetch actual and forecast both the data. So once the data is available in Datasphere, on top of that you can create views, analytical models, and you can use it for the live reporting. You might be having a question, when the data is available in SAC, why we are moving to Datasphere? So in the data in the SAC, only plan data of SAC available. If you have different sources for SAC for the planning, so Datasphere has a capability to collect data from different sources, plan data. That is one way. Another way is there are some users, they want to check what is their actual, what is their budget, and how much budget is utilized. So those comparison reports. So if Datasphere the data is available every day, they can check those reports. So now you see the data is available here. Now this data, this is the table, fact table from SAC. You can see this naming convention, SAC, this model name, fact data. So now I want to insert a table. So this table is in Datasphere. Now in this table, whatever SAC data is there, we will move to this table. So now I'm okay with this name. So whatever name columns are available in this model, same columns created. So I'm going to create this table. So you can create a give a name. So deploy it. So data flow has a capability directly, it can directly create a table. From data flow also we can, the target table actual and forecast will be created and deployed in your repository with all output columns added to the target. Yeah, create and deploy. It takes few seconds to deploy it. So it's deployed. Now I want to give a name to this particular data flow. So here I'm giving the name. So data flow, I'm going to activate. So after saving, we have to deploy it. So now this fact data, we need to move it to this particular table. Currently, what happens, this table, whatever table it's deployed, this table is deployed, right? So now this entire scenario, if you see, you don't have any data in this particular table. Why? You 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 moved this, you want to move this data, just you have given a mapping. Now the data should be loaded, right? To load the data, we need to run. So when you click on run, so the data flow run starts. It takes some time to load to this particular table. So once the data is available in this particular table, you can use this data in the data builder. So you can use this table in the data builder, and you can create views on top of that, and you can generate reports on top of that, right? So now what you understand here, bi-directional integration, move data from Datasphere to SAC, export SAC data to this particular Datasphere for reporting purpose, right? So with this, we understood the entire scenario what we plan. So the business scenario use case we understood here. This the external data energy prices we have taken from the data marketplace Datasphere, and internal cash flow items we added, union we prepared, and we loaded the data to SAC, and whatever SAC plan data we moved to Datasphere. Yeah. So this is the demo. We are starting from next weekend. The sessions are started from the next weekend. Will be started from the next weekend. If you are interested to attend this session, just send an email so that I can send you all the details. Any questions?
Would you be sharing this deck?
Sure, sure. I can share this deck and this video also. I'm recording this session, so I will share the recording also.
And do you need SAC knowledge as well for this?
Not required. So the front end knowledge is required. Whatever minimum I'm going to give you minimum knowledge. There will, you have to spend more time on SAC to understand the front end. Or I'm going to start a batch on SAC. I will inform you. I will send the meeting request. Right?
Kiran,
Yeah.
so the timing of this is 6:30 a.m. EST. Uh, so after a month, there'll be a daylight saving. It will become 5:30 a.m. EST. So is there a plan to move it ahead later on,
Oh,
or
okay.
we are sticking to this timing?
So I follow India time only.
Okay.
So for me, always 4 p.m. is 4 p.m. As you know. Yeah. Right.
Kiran,
So now,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, just want to know, like, for example, for nowadays, if you want to do migration, for
Mm,
example, you have a query design, queries are there, okay, BW
mm,
queries. So if you want to
mm.
move the BW query, existing queries, how does that work? And second thing is, for example, in our organization, so based on the queries, we build a lot of Webby templates, okay?
Mm,
So what will be the approach? Like, we need to again redo the Webby because in Webby it's directly we are not
correct,
consuming it. We are using some more,
correct, correct.
customization
So
in
any
Webby.
questions? Please ask me any questions relevant to this content, right?
Okay,
And the relevant to any questions relevant to this one. Whatever migration, those things we can discuss in the later sessions. Yeah,
all right, okay. So it is not a bit difficult, isn't it? That's what I just want
correct.
to know.
The
That's it.
standard procedures are available. BW bridge is available.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm stopping the recording.